아, 이 게임이 우크라이나에서 만들어졌군요. 아, 그랬구나. 대단하다. 안녕하세요. 셜록 홈즈. 저번 셜록 홈즈도 다 못했는데 새 셜록 홈즈가 해보고 싶어서 왔습니다. 상당히 어려운 자전거네. 어머, 왜 이렇게 빨개? 1장 런던의 드리운 그림자. 베이커가 비오는 런던. 비오는 한국도 좋은데 비오는 런던은 또 얼마나 좋을까요?
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your
아, 우리
skills
집
to
아닌
a more
건가?
pertinent question, namely the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep, in a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
왓슨?
This mess is getting out of hand. What will the landlady think?
이 지저분한 거에도 전부 다 다 그게 있다고. 서로가 있을 자리에 있는 거야 지금. 이 더러운 거 아니야 이거. 런던 어드버타이저. 스웨덴 일더 공주의 최근 런던 방문 동안 불행한 사고가 계속 발생하면서 영국과 스웨덴 간의 긴장감이 높아졌다. 가장 중요한 스캔들은 일더 공주의 개인 경호원의 원인 불명 실종으로 초래된 영국 외교단의 망신이다. 오랫동안 공주의 최측근이었던 그는 근무 시간 외에 런던을 관광하려고 했고 늦은 밤 산책해서 끝내 돌아오지 않았다. 경찰 측 대변인은 경호인이 인상 깊은 스칸디나비아의 대표격 외견을 가졌기 때문에 발견되리라 확신한다고 본지에게 장담했다. 그런 남자는 신사 클럽에서 아니면 그들을 위로하는 아리따운 꾀꼬리들의 눈에 띕니다.
Local gossip, all of it uninteresting. Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the book.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming. I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
가자고 왓슨. 멋있다. 탐정이란 약간 이런 옷 입고 있지 않나? 오케이. 이 모자가 진짜 탐정 모자인데 어쩔 수 탐정 모자가 젖으면 세탁을 해야 되니까 어쩔 수 없이. 안경도 할 수 있네. 비 오는 날 안경은 불편하죠. 수염도 이거 약간 변장인가? 왓슨 씨 옷도 내가 바꿀 수가 있구나. 나와 커플룩으로 하는 게 좋을 것 같은데 왓슨 모자 쓴 게 하나밖에 없네. 이렇게 하도록 하자. 왓슨.
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
그럴까? 이런 건 조수인 자네가 하는 게 낫지 않나?
A cactus
Well.
spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, The perfect assassination
선인장
tool.
가시가 여기 있다. 날 죽일 이상은 아니면 선인장 가시가 있을 리가 없는데 여기.
You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison
누구야?
me.
Poison? You?
천재 탐정
That's
독살하려고 한
madness.
사람.
Do you even have enemies that would want to kill you? Okay, perhaps from Cordona.
그건 나도 좀 놀랐네.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
그래.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
헤헤.
Glass.
나 역시 유명 인사.
Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
내 신문에 무슨
You're a
일이
bright
생겼나?
child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
그치 그치.
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson,
Sure. Now
아
you take
돈
the day
달래
off.
귀여워. 그가 신문에
did you
무슨
see what
짓을
he was
했나?
up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise.
야,
And all I could see
똘똘하다,
was
이
him kneeling at your
친구.
door.
현관의 남자에 대해
Can you
말해줄게.
describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises.
그는 어디로 갔지?
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
All right.
중요한 문제인데.
You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears. If you have more shillings.
어허허 이 녀석. 왓슨 이 똑똑한 녀석에게 실력을 좀 더 주지 않겠나? 나 돈이
How about that
Copy of
없나?
the
little
Strand
fellow? He
here.
seems rather obsessed with you. Would he do something like this?
그러게.
I'll stand watch, just in case the strange man.
고마워 아가.
But he also has his scruples.
친구 나 알아낸 게 있다네.
Every
What could
knows
fool this
it's part
scheme
of
to
a game.
murder you? A spine
Get the
stuck to the
Strand.
newspaper
Get
is
your copy
hardly
of the
legal.
Strand here.
일단 근처 서점으로 가자고. 서점이 어딘가? 지도. 설마 이게 지도인가? 설마 이게 지도라고? 페닉 씨의 저택이고. 아 친구. 잠깐 나와보게나. 나 지금 서점 가야 되니까. 아 지금 설마 이걸로 서점 찾으라고?
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
이렇게 해서 서점 찾는 건가? 바로 찾았죠? 여기가 아닌가? 자네는
Can
누군가?
I ask you a question? Sorry, sir, I can't help you.
그래? 아 과일 장수구나. 나 지금 서점 찾았는데 여기가 아닌 것 같은데? 여기가 서점인가? 여긴 어디지? 아 여기 장례식장? 설마 여기 서점인가? 지금 눈앞에서 서점을 아 여기네 여기 아 참 아 왓슨 도움 하나도 안 되네. 헬로
A ruined
반스
newspaper is
반스
hardly the end of the world. We can always buy another.
반스가 아니구만. 반스인가? 가로군. 아니 손이 왜 이렇게 더럽지? 잉크를 이거 책 안 읽는데 책 읽는 척 하고 있는 거 아니야 지금? 머리가 축축하다거나? 아픈 왼쪽 다리. 높은 굽. 장시간 동안 고되게 일한 결과 반스신 다리를 쩍뚝거리고 매우 지친 것처럼 보인다. 협박 피해자? 잠깐. 협박 피해자일 수도 있겠다. 왼쪽 다리가 아프잖아요 지금. 일 중독자인가? 그는 자신감이 없는 편이라 굽 높은 신발을 신어서 키가 더 크게 보이려고 한다. 비록 일 중독자. 오케이. 당신 일 중독자군. 이런 사람이 살인 계획이 연루되었다는 생각을 하기 어렵다. 그렇지만 반스 씨는 자기도 모르는 사이에 더 큰 장기말이 되었을 수도
Mr.
있다.
Barnes? A
반스
word.
씨. 놀랐어? 날 보고?
Oh, for goodness
아하이 참. 딱 봐도 내가 범인이요 하는 행동이죠 지금. 반스 씨.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please?
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
방금 나랑 바로
Would you
앞에
care to answer
있지
some
않았나?
questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds. with
뭐 하시는
work.
거지 저분 지금
How
나랑.
about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
No, really deep in the weeds with
아까 안
important,
바빠
yes.
보이던데.
Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
갑자기
Barnes
날
doesn't seem
그렇게
like himself.
실례했다고?
Why is he acting this way?
반스 씨 이거
You're
너무
asking the right
수상해요.
questions, Doctor.
Apologies.
Let's find a way to coax
I
him
can't
out.
hear you. Please come back later.
내 목소리 이렇게 큰데 안 들린다. 알았어. 기다려.
So,
안녕.
Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
귀여워.
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for
그치,
him.
나도 그렇게 생각해. 와 비 오는 날씨 좋다. 꽃이 왜 이렇게 시들어 있지?
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who an improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. The finest view London has to offer.
잠시 나갔다 올게. 아까 전에 그 꽃이랑 좀 비슷하게 생겼죠?
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses.
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
네.
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
아니 이 선인장 그 선인장?
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
여기서 끝이야? 선인장 이 선인장 아까 나 공격했던 그거랑 좀
Familiar
비슷한데?
spine. Is this what I found in my dustbin?
그치 똑같이 생겼는데
Anything tickle
내가
your
싫어?
fancy, Mister?
플레밍 부인은 사별한 남편을 기다리고자 애도용 브로치를 달았다. 그녀의 드레스는 일에 적합하지 않은 비싼 옷감으로 만들어졌다. 그녀의 신발에는 진흙자국이 안 보이니 도착했을 때 갈아 신는 게 분명하다. 그녀의 눈은 무언가를 찾는 듯이 계속 이 주변을 둘러본다. 누군가를 기다리는 것인가? 플레밍 부인은 사별한 남편의 기억을 소중히 여기지만 화장과 멋진 옷 차림이 말하듯 다음으로 넘어가려고 노력 중이다. 그녀는 어쩌면 누군가의 관심을 끄기 위해 꾸미는 거일 수도 있지만 그저 자기 자신을 사랑하는 법을 다시 배운 거일 수도 있다.
Feel
여성이
beautiful?
아름답게 보이거나
No, but your distant look
알았어.
suggests you seek one
제가
man's
따라하는 게
gaze in
싫군요.
particular.
Who told you that?
누가 그걸
Nobody.
말했나요?
Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to
아, 예.
yourself, Mr. Holmes.
죄송합니다. 제가 원래 좀 눈이 예리하죠.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how?
말하겠냐?
I'm not sure I follow, Mr.
Why
뭐가
Holmes.
와닿는다고?
do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
반스 씨가 나 좋아해서
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No.
유일하게
not
하나 안 한
really.
거네.
Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much
저희
more
사랑하는
than
관계
A
아니에요.
look.
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy. So we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached. But since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
오케이 알았어요. 이제 반스 씨를 꼬드기로 가볼까요? 반스 씨. 여기 뭐가 번쩍인다.
The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
이분은
I like
누구시지?
bookshops. One of the few spots in London where
맞습니까?
you're shunned for making a racket.
아니 너가 왜 대답해? 아 이렇게. 아니 이런 큰 반전이. 반스 씨는 꽃을 파는 플레밍 부인의 관심을 끌려고 꽃다발을 전시한다. 그는 그녀가 자신의 가게에 들어와 물을 주는 방법을 조언하거나 아니면 그저 절박할 수 있다. 반스는 계산대에 놓인 카탈로그에서 주문한 선인장을 익명으로 선물했다. 의문이 드는 선택이지만 카탈로그에서 이 선인장을 불멸의 존재로 설명하니 반스에게는 선인장이 영원한 사랑의 상징이다. 그가 이 선인장을 221B 베이커가 밖에 더 스탠드에 떨궜다는 것은 분명하다. 이제 사건 경위를 들립니다. 반스 씨.
We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you.
너가
very
그
well
여성을
from behind the
사랑한다는 걸
door.
알아. 플레밍 부인 새로운
You ordered a
선인장이지?
cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer.
놀라셨어. 내 신분이
I
더러워졌어.
couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right then.
너무 허술하신 분이신데?
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the
탐정이잖아.
cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
어떻게 해야 할지
As in
알지.
most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the obtruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
부둣가를 뒤흔드는 초속 폭발. 런던 항 거주민들은 평화를 깨트린 시끄러운 쾅 소리와 짙은 붉은색 연기 때문에 어젯밤 불시에 잠에서 깨게 되었다. 이른 저녁 3번 부두에 정박했던 유럽 행상선 모스크바는 연달아 이어진 진탕성 폭발로 흔들렸다. 한 관계자는 사건에 관한 코멘트를 아직 남기지 않았고 당시의 승무원 탑승 여부는 아직 파악되지 않았다. 강으로 누출된 초석을 봤다고 증언하는 목격자도 있지만 아직 해당 구역이 노동자와 대중들에게 출입 금지이기 때문에 사건의 경위를 파악하기까지는 시간이 걸릴 수도
Come,
있다.
Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell,
If there's
Mr.
any
Barnes.
way
I
can
hope
make
to
it
hear
up to
good
you.
news about you and
Tell you
Mrs.
what.
Fleming.
Tomorrow's edition of The Strand is on me. Okay, not just tomorrow. A whole week's worth. How does that sound? You're right, I could do more. Next time you move house, I'll be there to help. I'm
좋네.
great with boxes. And feel free to consult my books whenever you like. I could be an asset in one of your investigations.
앞으로 각종 도움을 주길 바라네. 그리고 좋은 소식 있으면 나한테 먼저 알지?
I'm sure Barnes has had enough of our meddling, Mr. Holmes. We best be off.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No? Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But
It's brilliant. Let's go.
oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
스탠윅의 저택. 스탠윅 아까 전에 내가 갔던 그 큰 저택이 스탠윅인가? 어디로 갔지 내가? 저기
Not much further now.
여기지 여기가 스탠윅 집이지. 집 좋다.
Is this
Hi,
lousy
hello.
attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At
안녕하세요,
last,
셜록
a confession.
홈즈입니다.
This useless officer refuses to do
예,
anything
예.
about Kimmy
제가
here,
그 천재
my
셜록
missing
맞습니다.
servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles. And it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
왜 조사하지 않죠?
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick.
다른 실종자도 있습니까?
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony. Then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
키미히아를 묘사할 수 있습니까?
Tell me about Kimahir.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen. And as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
키미히아는 언제
When did you
사라졌습니까?
last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have
yesterday.
escaped the night before yesterday.
그는 어디서
May I see
거주합니까?
your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
왜
Is
도망쳤을까요?
there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
그가 훔친 물건이 있습니까?
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No, no. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
그는 전에도 도망친 적이
I
있습니까?
take it this is the first time Kimahir has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
펜윅 대령의 하인인 히아가 사라졌다. 그를 키가 아주 크고 강인한 사람을 묘사했다. 몸에 전통적인 문신을 했다.
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed. You think you know someone?
너무 심하시네. 아, 이렇게 앉아서 기다리고 있었구나.
Yes, Stenwick is no angel.
잠깐 좀 비켜주게나. 왓슨. 뭐야? 갑자기 나타났다. 이걸 눌러야 되는구나. E를 눌러야 되는구나. 오케이, 알았어. 이 다음 행동은 안 하는 건 내 여유밖에 못 모아서 그런 건가? 왓슨, 이쪽으로 잠시만 오게나. 오두막에 들어왔는데 뭐야 이거? 바나나?
No, I cannot make head nor tail of it.
뭐지 이 뼈다귀는? 치킨 뼈?
Button chops. The remains of a meal.
아, 양갈비구나. 이거는 뭐지? 씨앗인가?
A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan.
아편.
That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
The ashes are long since cold.
아이고 저런.
No air coming through it.
오, 깜짝이야. 자네 어디 가나? 아이고, 이거 뭐야?
The rag reeks of smoke. Someone plugged the
아니 이거
chimney.
누가 이런 짓을 했어? 불쌍해. 누가 이런 짓을 한 거야 도대체? 여긴 뭐지?
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
No, I cannot make head nor tail.
알았으니까 좀 떨어질래? 깜짝이야. 아유 계속
This
놀라잖아
disappearance is
내가.
intriguing.
너
No, I cannot
때문에.
make.
바뀌자고? 이건가? 장작더미 떨어졌나?
Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it elsewhere. Can't see it anywhere in the garden.
와, 또 생겼다. 딱. 어. 에? 이건 뭐지? 아.
Disappearance is intriguing. No, I cannot.
어허. 왓슨 잠시 딴 데 있겠나?
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
뭐지? 오호.
Impressive.
뭐야?
The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact.
머리를
Someone hit
박았다고?
their head here.
저런. 총알이다. 이게 뭐지?
Small navy spyglass.
해군용 만안경. 오, 알았네.
Not tailored it.
시처럼 나타나는 것이야. 왔으면 좀 방해되니까 좀 어딘가로 좀 가기나.
A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called.